Good morning, good morning. How are we this morning? My name is Jennifer, and here we talk about everything. Today we are doing a reading. Woo, look here. We're starting with Archangel Michael. Let's find out what he says. Let go of fear now. My prayer, Archangel Michael, please help me feel safe and deserving of your guidance. Thank you for clearing me of heavy, toxic, or ego-based thoughts or feelings. All right. Now I've double-deckered these decks. Woo! So I have two. I have the Dragon and the Rider, and Soul Helper Oracle mixed together. I have several mega decks. Thank you for that idea. That I will be sharing with you guys periodically. So we look here. We have two dragons here. So listen, here we go. Zadkiel and Grazalu, 26. The time for being passive and accepting begins now. Let go of all desires. Be patient and prepared. The right moment will come. Everything has its time. Look at that beautiful. Look at that. Whew. Well, listen. Look at that. Boop, 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 boop. Ashtar Sharan and Turbo, 40. Friendship requires attention, respect, and harmony. Nurture it. It is very precious. Do not lose touch with your friends. All right. Look at that. Look at that. The purple, the purple. We got the green and the green. Woo, we do, we do, we do, we do. So, let's dive a little deeper. Right now, I think we're in the building phase. Desire, love, and trust. Yes! We're building it, we're building it. Yeah, we're building it, we're building it. Yeah, looky here. Boys and girls, you better get yourself together. Oh, boy. We have basil, lettuce, and tomato. Hey, no. Listen, tomatoes fresh out the garden and lettuce fresh out the garden. All you do is wiggle it with some water. And you can grow basil in your house, and it brings you good luck too. Just put that out there. That stuff brings you luck. That's why you see a lot of people that grow that stuff. There's a lot of love. Yep. Listen, we are building a new foundation. Yes, passion. Absolutely, absolutely. Numbers that could be significant are 21, 3, 30, and 7. Any more? Abundance, strength, 23, 19, and 8. Productivity, abundance, strength, productivity. We have grapes, fennel, and pumpkin. If you have those things in your kitchen, you might ought to try making something with them. You are doing summer things right now. Adding that stuff to your diet would help. Hope, daffodils. Those are out right now and they're beautiful. They're beautiful. You're beautiful. Cut those, put those on your kitchen table, in your front window. Like, if you got it, flaunt it. Plant them. If you don't want to cut them down, go to fucking Home Depot and get you some, or Lowe's, or any other flower shop out there, and put those in your yard. Put those in your garden beds. They're beautiful. They smell good. You can eat them and they won't hurt you. You can make tea out of daffodils. I don't know if you know that or not, but you can make tea out of daffodils. So if you're looking for something to switch out your diet for sodas, instead of your Sprite, you can drink daffodil tea. All right. Let's see some self-care. Ooh. We have activating the third eye. I am willing to see beyond my beliefs, ideas, and conclusions. Ooh. Sometimes, no matter how good you think you are, ego does get in the way. No matter who you are. Embracing worthiness. I feel worthiness filling every cell of my body, and it feels amazing. Gotta give homage to the card makers. Balancing the brain. I can be and do all at once. And that is one thing that we're realizing is the only thing making us retarded is our personal decisions. None of us were born that way, okay? None of us. Absolutely none of us were born that way. We were not born to make bad decisions. We were born to be happy and live abundantly. But we're also here to learn. We would not know what we know today if we would not have gone through what we did yesterday. So don't take it out on yourself because you happen to fit some sort of stigma. Fuck all the stigmas. Keep moving forward. That's the goal. Every day is a new day. I heard this thing and I don't remember where it come from. I don't know what religion it is, and I don't even care. All I know is that I am beginning to adapt to that more and more every day, which is you die every day. Every time you go to sleep, you are dying. And every time you wake up, you are birthing. So what is it that you want to make out of your new self every time you wake? I don't know about you, but I love to wake and bake. Bam! Listen, what does that bring for you? What does that bring? All right. That's beautiful. Like, that's beautiful. I'm not even going to pull any more cards after that. Listen. So, what is our spirit message? What is our spirit message for today? Our spirit message for today. Whatever you have been putting off, don't procrastinate any longer. Tackle that long overdue project. You will feel much better once you begin. Start with one thing at a time. Thoughts and ideas not acted upon are just laying in wait. You can do this. Most definitely. Most definitely. All right. Let's get our stones for the day. Let's get our stones for the day. Moonstone. Female fertility. Calming emotions. Attracting new love. Growth. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Woody woody. Listen, for those of you, I'm just gonna put this out there because I know it's not gonna last for long. It's in honor of Juneteenth, but if you've never listen, if you've never go to Amazon, check out the Juneteenth stuff. You heard that. Good Times is on there. I don't know why season 6 is locked, but you can watch the first 5 seasons. You will have to watch commercials unless you pay that extra $3 a month. Even on Prime, like now they have it. You got to pay extra if you don't want commercials. You have to pay extra if you want the special stuff, and you got to pay extra if you want it without commercials. That's alright, I'll take the commercials. I learned stuff through them. Anyway, so this right here is out of a deck that I introduced to you guys a few months ago, and then I put it back up in the stash because it wasn't ready to be fully introduced yet. But somebody's been helping quite a bit here recently, And, well, there's actually been a few of you that have been helping tremendously. And so I decided I would bring this deck out. See what's happening on your end for you. We have 27 chaos. Uh-oh. All right. So my new deckers, this could be for you. Where we go? Hope, the Devil. And these are new. This is from the Fool's New Journey Tarot. By John Matthews and Charles Newington. 60 Triumphs for a New Dawn. All right. History, the Downfall, and the Slave. One more. The Fisherman. Whew. We are going to take the time to see what they say. 27. Because this is a new deck that nobody has, we're going to read it. Chaos is something we are all, in one way or another, familiar with. In Greek myth, Eris was the goddess of chaos, strife, and discord. Some accounts say she was the daughter of Zeus and Hera, along with her sister Harmonia. Others told that she was the daughter of Nyx, darkness and night. In Roman tradition, Discordia and Concordia held the natural chaos of the universe in balance. These myths tell us a lot about the way chaos works. At ground level, it can be anything between a chaotic style of living, balancing a job, children, pets, and household tasks, a long day and under difficult circumstances, and a larger degree of chaotic thought or action. Chaos can be seen to operate outside the home and a personal and often chaotic world in which we live. In the associations with the darkness and night, sometimes nothingness tells us that chaos is both a natural phenomenon and something to be wary of. The English word chaos is associated with the ancient Greek word meaning abyss. At this time, chaos was believed to be the emptiness that existed before the cosmos came into being, while later it became associated with Tartarus, the lower world into which spirits fell. In time, this morphed into the proposal of chaos theory, an interdisciplinary scientific idea coupled with a branch of mathematics that focuses on the patterns inherent in everything. It seeks to find order within chaos itself, and this is the principle on which this card works. No matter how chaotic our thoughts, our feelings, or our actions may seem, there's a degree of organization that subsumes all of these into a place of stillness. Curiosity. Chaos is predictable, though the effect is so complex that it takes a mathematician of genius to work it out. The most famous example is the butterfly effect, which says that if a butterfly flaps its wings in one place, it will ultimately cause a hurricane thousands of miles and ages away in an unknown future. So many other influences occur between one action and its cause that we cannot see it. But predictability is a part of this. We may not be able to track the millions of tiny events that bring about a single happening in our lives, but they are there anyway. Not everything is predictable or viewable, but the patterns are important, whether we acknowledge them or not. In a reading, this card is therefore very much about seeking and finding order in the chaos that affects us. Look to the cards on either side for clarity here, or simply allow the idea of a peaceful center to fill your thoughts. Keywords: chaotic living, seeking cause and effect, finding the point of stillness at the center of the storm, predicting the causes of chaos, chaos theory, collecting the shards of life and restoring them. Our next card is 34. Hope. This was chaos. And this is hope. Hush, boys. Thank you. Go lay back down. Thank you. Hope. Hope is something we all need. In our darkest moments, we hope to find a solution, an escape, or help of whatever kind is available to bring us back from the edge. In ancient traditions, the goddess of hope were the most often supplicated. In the Greek pantheon, Elpis was the spirit of hope. In Rome, Specs in the Hellenic tale of Pandora's jar, we learn that when Prometheus stole the gift of fire from heaven, Zeus, enraged, trapped all the evils that brought sorrow to mankind, included sickness, death, and fear, in a jar, which he gave to Pandora, the first woman, to keep. But Pandora became curious to know what was within the jar and opened it. At once, all the evil flew out and spiraled back up to Olympus, all but one, Elpis. Hope remained behind to offer comfort to mankind. She's usually portrayed as a young woman carrying a bunch of flowers, symbols of the promise she brings. The Greek philosopher Hesiod wrote, as Hesiod, as long as man lives and sees the light of the sun, let him show pity to the gods and count on Elpis. Let him pray to the gods, sacrificing to Elpis first and last. In a reading, hope can turn aside the darkness and show the way to discover healing and joy in the face of adversity. She brings a positive breath of fresh air to any situation and supports us in our search for answers and help. Above all, hope offers us balance and truth and opens the way forward. She's one of the best aspected cards in the deck and should always be recognized as having a powerful influence upon the whole reading. Keywords: upright, hopefulness, comfort, belief that all will be well, support, balance, clear sight, respect for all, watchfulness, protection, calmer waters. Before I say anything, I'm going to put my you might get obsessed with this and not take much time out for yourself to help others. You might need to balance that out before you go into another hermit mode where you have to take care of yourself because you overexerted. Take your time. Remember, they are not the only ones that need healing. You are too. Okay? 32, the devil. The devil has nearly always been represented as a monstrous, deformed creature with bat wings, horns, cloven hooves, etc., rather as the Christian church used the figure of the fallen angel Lucifer as a peg on which to hang every possible manifestation of evil. See card 31, the downfall, which is in this reading. So in tarot, the stories of demons stealing men's souls and images of the damned shuffling their way towards the gaping mouth of hell would have been present in most churches. Before the devil ousted all earlier creatures, the image was probably a representation of Typhon, the dragon monster of classical myth, who emerged from the underworld, brandishing a flaming torch and bringing disaster in his wake. More recently, following the esoteric revival of the 19th century and the blossoming of pagan beliefs in our own time, the devil has become identified with the god Pan, spirit or nature, and abandonment, and as such deemed a positive influence. Despite this, the essential meaning has not changed, in whatever form he becomes. The devil brings connotations of self-aggrandizement, or if we think of him in terms of magic, as the black magician, whose aim is only to raise power for himself rather than the white magician who seeks to raise power to help others. Here we have shown him holding a cup in which he offers a drink of selfishness. The central meaning of the card revolves around deceit, lies, and trickery. All aspects of devilish influence, almost always it represents either the reader or someone close to him or her, someone who is self-serving and will do anything to get their own way, to rise to the top of the heap, to be important. It is the fantasy of childhood self-aggrandizement transferred to the adult, and it can be very destructive. If it represents you, it indicates that you like to break the rules, to act selfishly, to fulfill your own desires, irrespective of how this may affect others. Essentially, it is about fear and self-love, which, in general terms, means that whoever feels this is unable to relate properly to anyone else. Some will feel that they are too perfect to ever find anyone who can reach their impossibly high standards. Others are simply afraid to acknowledge that anything or anyone matters beyond themselves, or in a more extreme form, that everyone is out to get them. It is all too easy to become trapped in this kind of narrow self-delusional approach, which sooner or later leads to the poisoning of life itself. It could indeed be said that the card suggests a harsh journey to reach reality, where the delusions fall away and individuals see themselves and their lives as they really are. Key words: upright, self-aggrandizement, power out of control, passion, lust, malevolence, self-destruction, subservience, violence, unprincipled behavior, psychosis, knowing better than others, non-consensual, bitterness, anger, obsession. History, 49. History is a series of echoes that resound through time. It can teach us so much that we neglect at our peril. How many times have events followed the same patterns, especially when these lead to war and suffering? We are far more likely to ignore the past and the lessons it can teach, preferring to think that our realizations of the moment are more important. Yet to spend time in the presence of history is to discover clues that can help us today. This is not just on the great scale of world events, but also in our personal lives. Have we made mistakes that could be rectified with hindsight? Are there patterns to observe in our daily lives that point towards mistakes we have made and should not make again? We are often advised to live in the present, and this certainly helps us avoid dwelling on past events or looking into the future for things we hope will work out. But we can learn to see the shape of history without needing to dwell upon it. It can and does outline ways to prevent repetition. This relates to our ancestral bequest, the echoes of events that are part of our family history and from which we may learn. The ancient world understands that importance of history. The Greeks, Mesopotamians, Akkadians, and Egyptians all possessed gods who oversaw historic events. Inanna in Mesopotamia, Naram, Sin, and Akkad, Horus and Aten in Egypt, and Athena and Apollo in Greece. All saw the shapes and patterns of human history and sometimes intervened to bring about a different conclusion. This tended toward prophecy rather than history. But within the midst of these ancient deities, the golden threads of history is ever present. In most early myths, visions, at least one aspect of the gods and goddesses who are part of the pattern of history are weavers. History itself is the weaver of time and events, bringing together people or situations that might otherwise never have met. It literally shapes our lives and should always be recognized as having a part to play in the way we live now. Thus, in a reading, it will point the way toward a deeper assessment of the situation, perhaps with a backward look at our own personal histories. Keyword: upright, comparison, reverberation, resonance, replaying, echoes, ripples, repetition, old ways that seem dead, a source of our identity. Downfall, 31. The downfall is about falling from grace, losing one's reputation, being denoted and sometimes thrown out of one's established position in life. Typically, it concerns someone who has risen to the heights in their profession and has become hugely popular and feted by all, who suddenly and often unexpectedly becomes reviled, cast out, accused of all kinds of unsavory practices or unacceptable behavior. This does not mean that the person or persons concerned are guilty of any of the things of which they are accused. They may be the victims of gossip, deliberate attacks, or misrepresentation. The image here recalls the Christian myth of Lucifer, once the morning star and light bringer, cast out of heaven for rebelling against God, and subsequently reviled and assumed to be the fount of all evil. See card 32, the devil. Whether one ascribing to this or not as a matter of personal belief, arguments can be made that suggest that the fallen angel appeared because of the belief that evil, as the opposite of goodness, therefore required a figurehead, just as more ancient beliefs had their own dark and troublesome gods, such as Pluto in Greek mythology, Loki in Norse mythology, and Leviatar, the Finnish goddess of pain and death, Apophis, the god of chaos in ancient Egypt, and Lamashtu in the Mesopotamian pantheon. Lucifer seems to have been chosen because he came to represent pride, hubris even within the theology of early Christianity. In terms of human life, individuals can also become polarized as reflections of negative or unethical behavior, sometimes with unquestionable accuracy, at other times brought about through personal animosity. The card therefore reflects the uncertainty and sometimes unfairness of such occurrences and asks that we look beyond the surface of accusatory language to the possibility of other truths. This refers both to outside figures, such as work colleagues, people to whom we have always turned for probity, and to our own lives and actions. We may think of ourselves as honest and upright members of society, but we sometimes have to face the reality that we might be acting out of self-interest. In matters of the heart, we may find ourselves falling out of love or being cast aside without good reason. Here, too, we must search our conscience to be sure we have not erred ourselves. Key words: upright, falling from grace, demotion, falling out of favor or popularity, overthrow, loss of reputation, falling out of love. 20. Sleep. Sleep is something we cannot live without. Yet our approach, here's the downfall. Into sleep. Sleep is something we cannot live without, yet our approach to it is ambiguous. Some fear sleep for the nightmares it can bring, while others welcome it as a cessation of the troubles and stresses of daily life. It is a source of refreshment and refueling, and via our dreams leads us to discover things we may not otherwise know about. See card 21, the dreamer. Myths are full of references to the guardians of sleep, gods and goddesses who guide us through dream or vision to partake of a larger wisdom and wider world. In the Greek pantheon, the god of sleep is Hypnos, while in Rome he is named Morpheus, the fashioner, because of his skill at being able to take upon himself the form of other beings or people. According to the poet Ovid, 43 BCE to 17 CE, no other is more skilled than he in representing the walk, features, and speech of men. So too, he copies the clothing and even the familiar words of those he represents. The poet gives Morpheus two brothers, saying that they appear in dreams, mimicking many forms. These sons of sleep are Phobetor, the frightener, who is able to take the form of beast or bird or of a serpent, and Thanatos, fantasy, who takes upon him the deceptive shapes of earth, rock, water, and trees. These all speak of the ways in which sleep can become filled with people we believe we know, but who may actually be wearing masks. These are something more than dreams and are capable of showing us things we fail to recognize in everyday life. In a reading, the card may suggest our need to take more care to observe events around us and try to recognize their true value. It also points to a need for rest and restoration, to take a break from the busy lives we lead. Keyword: upright, cessation of activity, rest, repose, refreshment, refueling, reappraisal, nighttime understanding. And at the back of the deck, we had 23, the fisherman. The fisherman has curious history of interpretation. From the words of Jesus to his disciples, I will make you fishers of men, to the character known as the rich fisherman in the Grail story. Even the great psychoanalyst Carl Jung used the metaphor of a man fishing, whose line connected with another man, fishing below the water, and so on, taking the idea deeper and deeper into the subconscious landscape of the mind. The rich fisherman is another name for the wounded king in the Grail myth. He is one of the guardians of the sacred vessel who is wounded in both thighs, usually interpreted to refer to the generative organs, and unable to be healed until the Grail winner uses the same spear that caused the wound to heal him. This is a theme that goes very deep into the human psyche. Wounds that can be healed only by reversing their original cause. In the Fool's New Journey Tarot, it stands for a number of things. The quest for healing, the ability to trawl for memories and truths, filling our nets with the treasures of the soul, and catching the answers you need to solve the issues you bring in the cards. It is also about taking a chance, casting your nets upon the waters until they rapture something of value to you alone. You are the fisherman of your own fate. Keywords: catching what you need, taking a chance, punt, a gamble, risk, providing for your needs, the search for healing, trawling for memory. I'm going to get as a gratitude card, and we will end it out with that right there. Woo! I let it speak for itself. We have 3 here. The optimist says the cup is half full. The pessimist says the cup is half empty. The child of God says, my cup runneth over. Anonymous. Glory. In his holy name, let the hearts of those who seek the Lord rejoice. Psalms 105:3. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. And look at that. Keep your face to the sunshine and you cannot see a shadow. Helen Keller. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights. James 1:17. Ladies and gentlemen, this reading was for you, and I hope it has helped you in some way. Until next time, I give you so much love, light, life, kisses, and blessings.